In association with NASSCOM, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, My Startup TV brings the TechNext show. Join us on the 1st and 15th of every month for inspiring stories, news and views. Each episode will feature a young, innovative and dynamic company. TechNext show will be broadcasted on NASSCOM Hyderabad's YouTube channel. You can watch the program live on our Android app and across social media, or you can simply log on to www.mystartuptv.in.
Welcome viewers to My Startup TV. I am your host Aishwarya. NASSCOM AP and Telangana, in association with My Startup TV, brings you the special show that showcases inspiring stories, news and views. The show is broadcasted on the 1st and 15th of every month. The program is broadcasted live on My Startup TV's Android app, available on Google Play Store. This episode is on banking, financial services and insurance. Top headlines for today are: NASSCOM partners with UK government and UK IBC. DXC and NASSCOM to train 7,500 underserved students. AG Next wins NASSCOM AI Game Changers Award. Now the news in detail are: NASSCOM has collaborated with the UK government's Department for International Trade and the UK-India Business Council to address the digital skills gap in India. A two-day virtual university tour was organized which focused on talent acquisition for the Indian tech industry. DXC Technology and NASSCOM Foundation have collaborated for an employability program to train 7,500 underserved students from Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra in new age technologies. The selected students will be trained in AI, data science, IoT, UI UX design and cybersecurity. India's agri-tech startup AG Next Technologies has been awarded the AI Game Changers Award in Agriculture by NASSCOM in the second edition of Experience Virtual Summit. AG Next has been recognized for implementing AI-led solutions to digitize food quality for multiple food commodities and accelerate food trade. According to NASSCOM reports, India's e-commerce market is witnessing continuous growth at 5% year-on-year. The estimated revenue is $56.6 billion for the year 2020 to 21. Welspun Group and NASSCOM have partnered for its Future Skills Prime platform, making the conglomerate the first manufacturing company to launch this initiative. Future Skills Prime is a skilling program focused on emerging technologies. That's all for today.
Next, we have a founder talk on BFSI sector.
Welcome viewers to TechNext show. NASSCOM AP and Telangana, in association with My Startup TV, brings you the TechNext show that showcases inspiring stories, news and views. This show is broadcasted on the 1st and 15th of every month. Today on our TechNext show, we have with us Rahul Jain, who's the co-founder and executive director of All Cloud Enterprise. It's a startup that is disrupting the lending process for financial institutions through its automation. Welcome Rahul, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, sir. It's a pleasure being on NASSCOM's show.
Thank you. Rahul, BFSI and fintech are the buzzwords currently, going around. And with series of investment that's coming into the industry, definitely startups and entrepreneurs like you must be having a great time, isn't it?
I think we're at the best time, sir. In terms of the fintech innovation that's happening, things are changing very rapidly, and the kind of support systems that are being built, not just from the industry products, but also from the government, essentially the India stack, they're all contributing a lot in creating a robust environment where innovation can thrive. And definitely fintech is the space to be today.
So what is All Cloud Enterprise all about? What is it into?
So simply put, we help banks, non-banking financial companies create a healthy loan book and manage it well. So we are an end-to-end solution provider for loans management. So we help our customers onboard their customers, do a credit assessment, manage their loan book, do better collections, and it's an all integrated one solution. So that's what we do.
So if we have to, explain this process with an example, if you can, keep it short, crisp, but then if you can also explain the whole end-to-end process of it, right from when somebody like me was to reach out to a bank or a financial institution and say I need money, and then what happens?
So say when you apply for a loan, right? Either you go to a bank or you apply it online today by putting in your data in a mobile phone. What generally happens is that this data gets transported back to a core lending platform where your credit assessment, onboarding happens, your validation as a customer happens. That's the platform that we provide. So today we're helping more than 85 NBFCs across the country to better validate the customers, do an in-depth credit assessment, and then give out loans.
So you also have multiple product like basic loan software, loan management software, management system. How are they different from one another?
So we have two products. One is the AutoCloud Basic platform, which is a pure SaaS lending solution, and the other is an enterprise platform for lending, which is the loan origination, loan management, and a collection system all built into one. So the difference is that Basic is a pure play SaaS platform, and Enterprise is an enterprise SaaS where we work with our customers, understand their needs, and then design the solution, configure it for their use.
So Rahul, tell us about your presence. Are you limited to India, or you also have offices or footprint in other countries?
So we definitely have presence across different countries. We are present in Africa, in Kenya and Tanzania, and we are also present in the Southeast Asian market with a bank using our platform in the Philippines. From a physical presence, I think Hyderabad is the office that we have. We don't have a physical office yet outside the country. But yeah, we have real big ambitions of making all cloud local to global, and that's what I'm channelizing today.
So what's your message for young entrepreneurs out there who are trying to get into, trying to start their own startup, or people who are already in the journey and probably spent, a year or two doing their startup, especially, given the tough times that we've seen due to COVID?
I think I don't have a lot of advice for people, but I think what I would definitely recommend them to do is that enjoy what you do. Follow the passion. I think that's what has helped us creating true value with our customers, and following your passion is something very important. Valuation is something that you need not worry. You need to really worry about creating that value and that customer experience in whichever field you are.
From when you started to when you made your first revenue, what kind of timelines was that? I mean, how much time did it take for you?
We were very lucky, sir. We made our first revenue in the first 3 months. So we launched the product, we went out in the market, sourced customers, and sold. Though we sold for a very less value that time, it was quite thin. But then definitely in the initial years, the kind of customers we acquired helped us grow this business.
And you started off at a time when the big banks or the big financial institutions and the NBFCs were necessarily not comfortable working with a startup. How did you go about convincing them that your solution was world class, provided all the security required, and that they should work with you?
So the approach that we took was more of an educative approach, where we spoke to our customers, explained them how we can manage technology better than them. And definitely some of them, the early adopters of this technology saw merit in this one. And with one customer referring us to another, and that certifies that our product, our team, and the kind of service we're providing was top notch. And then things fell into place, and it became very easy for us to convince the customers from then on.
As a startup, one of the things that we constantly hear is lack of skilled human resource. Did you face that challenge? And if yes, how did you overcome?
Well, I think so. Hyderabad is a fantastic place in terms of tech talent, and we've been very lucky in terms of having good people around us. Our team members are definitely skilled. We've also taken up programs where we are upskilling our own team, and by far I think we've not faced much of a challenge in terms of talent. But yeah, hiring it is a journey. Again, it takes time. You need to build a reputation as a company, and today we're very comfortable, and we're also aggressively hiring.
And the very basic question about how did this whole thought of starting or being in the space you are in come about?
Well, that's a story, sir. I am myself from a lending business. That's my family business. So I started doing that, and after some time, I felt that technology is something that is very essential for scaling operations. And on the same thought process, Ankit and Ashish, we're also working on technology on lending. We eventually met up at my office, and then our thoughts, our aim, and our goal, it was the same. So we thought it's better to join hands and build something together, and that's how this started.
And My Startup TV, the channel for startups and young entrepreneurs like you. We are showcasing your stories. We are showcasing your story. We're carrying your message. What are your thoughts about our channel?
I think it's much required because large corporates, larger teams, and the businesses who are already there do get a lot of opportunity. But there is something fantastic work happening in startups. They've got beautiful ideas, that are worth hearing out to. And this communication channel is really doing that job, putting out these startups, their thought process, their ideas to the world.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hosting you on our panel talk for the same series. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a pleasure being with you.
Coming up next is a feature on embracing digital transformation in the BFSI domain.
In the past 18 months, we have seen a major shift from cash payments and debit cards to just using your phone to scan a QR code. From my experience, I can say that now even small fruit and vegetable vendors are using this efficient and fast method of payment. This is the new age of digital transformation in the BFSI domain. Welcome viewers to My Startup TV. I am your host Aishwarya. I'm back with another episode of What's the Trend? The banking, financial services and insurance sector is being disrupted by a surge of new players in the market. The onset of the COVID-19 pandemic has also given a boost to digital transformation in the BFSI domain. A rise in the number of fintech companies has come as a setback to traditional banking and financial sectors. One such example is of HDFC Bank, which was constantly facing outages in its digital services despite the Reserve Bank of India's warning in December 2020. Fintech organizations are built on innovation with the aim of enhancing the financial services industry. These companies use technologies like AI, cloud, big data, and blockchain. Adapting to digital transformation in the BFSI sector comes with a lot of benefits like in a saturated market where the customer can decide to bank anywhere, digitization will help to provide enhanced value to the customer. Adapting to the digital age also helps an organization in becoming agile. Removal of outdated processes and replacing them with the latest ones heightens the efficiency of a financial services provider. It also helps in smooth functioning of a team, which will help to provide efficient services to the customer. Automating the day-to-day financial processes helps financial experts to apply their expertise and focus their efforts on more challenging tasks. Last but not the least, digital transformation in the BFSI domain has led to greater return on investment and quicker problem solving. So we can say that for existing organizations to keep up with the new players in the BFSI sector, the journey towards embracing digital change continues. If banking and financial organizations want to keep pace with the developments and competition, they have to adapt as per their capabilities, and in order to rise above the rest and meet the existing requirements, digital transformation in the BFSI domain is imperative. That's all for today.
Next on our show, we have a panel talk on the benefits, scope, future, and challenges in the BFSI sector.
Welcome viewers to a panel discussion on BFSI on our TechNext show. The banking, finance and insurance sector is being disrupted by a surge of new players in the market. The global pandemic has also given a boost to the digitization of BFSI domain. To discuss this, on our panel, we are talking about the scope, advantages, future, and challenges in BFSI domain. To discuss this, we have three eminent guests with us from the BFSI sector. My panelists today are Rahul Jain, who's the co-founder of All Cloud Enterprise. Then C. Chalapan, who's a functional consultant in the BFSI domain, and Pavan Adipuram, who's the founder and CEO of Chitmonk. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Let's start with Pavan. Pavan, what is Chitmonk into?
Thank you, Sunil. Thanks for having me here. So Chitmonks is more like you can think of it as chit funds 2.0 regime, right? I mean, I think chit funds have been playing an important role in the financial services for almost like at least a century, right? I mean, not even decades, at least it has been from the King's era. So we have, and it has been, playing an important role at financial services and has a Chit Fund Act, which is actually governing the entire chit fund business across the country, right? There is an act which protects the interest of the subscribers across the country. But this act is very old in terms of the way of execution and the operations as well. So Chitmonks is a very bold step to reimagine that, the way of working of chit funds. That is what I would say. Instead of playing the role of a traditional chit fund company, we are trying to reimagine the chit fund processes, how they can actually reimagine their processes and attract new segment of customers, right? I mean, if you see today, most of the chit fund customers are traditionally, I'm sure, I think you will find it not, I mean, the average age group of a chit fund customer today is more than 30, which means to say the cream segment of working class is completely left out of chit fund business. How can we make this more attractive to that segment is the philosophy which was driving us to think different in terms of bringing a chit funds 2.0 kind of an environment. Having said all of that, we are a pure tech play company. We are only tech enablers of the chit fund companies. We are not running chit fund companies. That's one thing which is very, very clear. So we are more of a tech players, enabling the chit fund ecosystems end to end. That said, again, we also work with the government as well in terms of bringing the administration. So it's not just solving the problem of the chit fund company and the subscribers, but we also work with the government to administer the entire chit fund activities of the state, especially in Telangana. And for that, of course, we use emerging technologies like blockchain to bring all that activity onto the platform. So that's in short what we are doing.
Great. So chit fund, Telangana is big time player in chit funds, isn't it? Rahul, your company, All Cloud Enterprise, is basically into providing technology for BFSI. And the players like Chitmonk are the ones probably whom you would be working with. And these are the players who are disrupting the BFSI space. The traditional banking and finance is completely disrupted by players like Chitmonk, isn't it?
A lot of innovation is happening, and what All Cloud does is essentially provide a platform that can help banks, financial institutions innovate on the core technology that we have, integrate it with multiple systems, and then create an ecosystem out of it. So definitely providing this lending technology and the API technology that we have enables banks, financial institutions to onboard customers better, lend better, and manage their loan book. We heard how chit funds are important instruments of savings. Loans are an equally important part of the financial ecosystem because loans promote growth, loans promote the economy, and then create a lot of employment. And what we've seen is that less than 4% of SMEs, actually are able to have the credit in the fashion that they want. So our platform essentially enables banks to give better customer experience and digitize their flows and processes. So that's what we do. And yes, there is a lot of activity in fintech, and we're in the right space now.
Chalapan, people like Rahul and Pavan are completely disrupting the old, the traditional banking and finance sector. You are somebody who observes this space very closely. What are your thoughts? What are you seeing? Especially given the last 18 months of
Yes.
pandemic.
Actually, based on the Rahul words, as he mentioned, now the market is growing and it is emerging in a better space. At the same time, we are elevating from our normal paper-based process into system-oriented, and now we are most of the people are pitching into the artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency basis. So, business-wise also, we are growing into the next level, as well as technological-wise also, we are elevating from the current status to the next status. So it's a right time to pitch in into this market. At the same time, if we ask, it's a time to market for this business. Yes, we are good. And then right now, lending is in peak, both in agricultural side as well as in the commercial or consumer durables kind of a business. At the same time, MSME vendors are growing now because due to this pandemic situation, most of the people might get struck due to the business, all those things. Now it is evolving in the MSME sectors.
Great. Pavan, your space is where, the chit funds typically, if you go by Telangana and Hyderabad in particular, it is the street vendors, most of the maids, you talk to them, they're into chit funds. It is seen a segment where you see the low middle class, this segment is, highly, involved into it. And also the large chunk of, illiterate population is also there. How are you, how's your technology helping connect all these people together? Because it's about using the technology as well, isn't it?
See, I think you touched upon two different segments of customers here, Sunil. Right? One is the bottom of the pyramid customers who are probably more of a microfinance kind of customers, not chit funds, I would say. But then there is a middle segment as well, who are actually, between the banks and the microfinance, right? I mean, there are always segment of customers who are above microfinance and below the banks and financial services because of the nature of business they are doing, or because they are kind of outside the formal, institutions like formal financial services. So these are the segment of customers who are typically, more active in the chit fund business. Now, I think all of us understand that there's a lot of unregistered activity in the space as well, the chit fund space. So it is huge in terms of, if the organized sector is X, the unorganized sector of chit fund business is at least 100 times the X, okay, which is very, very different. We are definitely not targeting 100X kind of customers, I would say. But definitely the thought process is, why are these customers not getting into the formal chit fund business? See, every subscriber who are actually doing a chit fund business in the registered chit fund companies, they are almost close to the financial services, formal financial services, so to speak, of non-banking financial services companies and all, right? So why is this 100X customers not coming into the formal segment is the thought process again when we started. Now, the entire journey of Chipmunks, or the product journey or the vision for us, is always to enable the tech companies to think and attract these customers, right? I mean, there is always enough pie for them to capture. The biggest thing in chit fund business is, right, if you think of a registered chit fund company or any business, chit fund business, right, the biggest thing is the underwriting. I mean, the fear of underwriting an unknown subscriber is very, very high. So you will see that most of these chit fund companies play very small in terms of knowing known segment of customer base or known customers only, right? So they would not cross that hurdle of reaching an unknown customer and all. That is where we are bringing technology to their help and say, hey, don't worry, we are here to onboard your unknown customers, do a financial analysis of that customer, help you understand how to underwrite those customers better, right? I mean, that is possible using technology today. And that is where our entire focus in terms of building the technology comes in. And again, all of this technology is to push the chit fund companies go and acquire more customers. That's the essential model we are working on, Sunil, currently. And I think it is definitely, I would call it as more of a, like I said, a daring step, right? I mean, changing the way the chit fund companies operate, changing the way the chit subscribers think about chit fund business is a very tough thing. But yeah, we are at least making some important steps in that direction.
Correct. Well, no, I agree with you. My own maid, uh, is into chit fund, and I know every month she puts in about 2,000 rupees. So that's a small amount of money. It starts with, and today pretty much everyone is into it. So Rahul, technology definitely is playing a big role in rolling out or making financial services accessible to a common man, right? Today you can be walking through a sabji mandi and you would definitely find somebody scanning a QR code, whether Paytm or Google or Phone Pay. And also somewhere I think there the established institutions like the private sector banks and public sector banks, they kind of lost out also, isn't it, into understanding this trend, or in a way underestimating the Indian consumer. Won't you say that?
I think, yeah, initially, yes, banks did lose out on the bet of fintechs. But what we are seeing now is banks also becoming fintechs. For us, any company, any bank, or any institution that is using technology to lend or to acquire customers or to underwrite them is a fintech. And we are the tech fin for them. So when we speak for customers or traditional finance companies, traditional banks, all their thought processes today are into digitization, and moving away from digitization, it's also transformation. And the next thing that I expect to happen is APIification of the ecosystem, where all these systems will be integrated so tightly that multiple data points will be collected by each entity. And then when you say that you walk into a sabji mandi and there is somebody scanning a QR code, everybody's getting one large ecosystem, and we will see that the kind of products the banks and financial institutions will come out with in the near future are going to be addressing the needs of so many consumers in different sectors with a different and specific product range. So yeah, banks are catching up to the fintech space, and definitely, they have to be relevant today to the consumer as well. You see, everything is happening on mobile, and they can't be averse to it. So they have taken steps towards it, and I'm sure there will be more innovation from banks on this one. And they're tying up with fintech. So every day you hear that a bank is tying up with fintech to, to specifically lend to a certain company, to specifically onboard certain customers, or to provide insurance, or to provide mutual fund services. So this is the trend that's going to be taking on a huge wave now.
If they don't, I think if they don't do it, then they'll be left behind. Dalapan,
Definitely.
where do you see this going? I mean, do you think there is more space available for more of Google Pays and Phone Pays to come into this into the segment?
Mostly, if you ask me, yes, we are looking into a Paytm or PayU kind of digital transactions. Even customers also willing to do in such a transactions to avoid to walk into the branch or some other things, because it might happen within a seconds. At the same time, same day I will get account credit also. So I don't need to. There will be no delay to get a confirmation from the bank or any other guys. So it's like a first in first out. If we paid now, immediately within a minute or 2 minutes, I will get the respective income in my bank account.
Pavan, the way technology, has made space or got into financials. Uh, where do you see technology taking us, especially when it comes to BFI space?
Sunil, I think these are definitely very exciting times, right? I mean, like you said in the beginning, see, one of the questions which I asked Rahul about the banks getting behind. For me, I always felt, they are smart. I would say banks are very smart because they are focusing on what they are good at, right? I mean, they are managing huge loads of money, and all of the financial services company, fintech companies eventually want to become banks. So we cannot always say that, banks are really falling back. I wouldn't call it that way. But having said that, technology is definitely playing a big role. think of all the neobanks coming out saying that, I'll acquire customers for you. What are they essentially doing? They're in the end of the day acquiring customers for banks. It doesn't matter, right? They're just producing another layer of service on top of the banking part is what I see. And the recent part of e-rupee coming out is a very good way of looking at how technology can be used at multiple levels. But of course, it comes with lots of other challenges as well. So it might kill the other part of it, right? I mean, e-rupee probably might kill the Jan-Dhan accounts which are open for only operating, sending the monies to the all direct benefit transfers, right? All the DBTs which are happening. Now the government wants to do it through e-rupee, which is a very good way of doing it, because a lot of money is getting diverted, or there's a lot of hops in between the money reaching to the end customer. And now using technologies like e-rupee, again, things are changing, right? So I say it's very interesting times. Again, having said that, of course, government or India is also looking at CBDCs coming into play, which is again a very interesting topic to discuss about. And I'm definitely looking forward. I mean, all these things, I mean, e-rupees, CBDCs, the new banking services, technologies, all of them are related to technologies, right? I mean, more than money management, because end of the day, the financial services management is nothing, right? I mean, saving, borrowing, or lending and investment. So if all round, it's probably small pockets. If you talk about small briefcases, or everything is about revolving about money management. But technology, what we are talking now, is more in terms of delivering these financial services effectively. And I think the technology will continue to play a big role, and we'll have a very big, we'll see a lot more changes probably in the next 5 to 10 years is what I think.
Yeah. Chalapan, we see these days pretty much, the big brand names that is in India, the likes of Airtel, they also have some kind of, financials, like a wallet in it. Do you think going forward, many companies would actually start having, a dedicated, or at least change their, their business toward being more financially driven business, like the Airtel I was talking about?
We can try it out there, but it's like a trial and error, because whether Airtel succeed in that particular wallet kind of a business means still they are trying to achieve their maximum target, but people are not yet that much used with the Airtel kind of a people. But if you are asking a Google Pay or a Paytm kind of a stuff, even if you can able to see in the road shop guy also utilizing the same thing with business account as well as with the normal accounts. So where we are pitching, how we are promoting, it's more important related to that. The branding, how they did and how Airtel did, there was a difference. But futuristic purpose, yes, it will happen.
Rahul, how do you see the future of BFSI?
The future of BFSI is quite strong. It's one of the oldest industry, and it will be thriving. What change we will see in BFSI is that there will be a lot of inclusiveness, because there will be multiple channels on multiple places where people will be able to access services. As you just said that, big techs, maybe it's Amazon or Apple, or for that matter, Google, all of them have opened channels for customers to access, and it's an integrated network. So today you can send reminders on WhatsApp and a payment can be initiated, right? So it will all be very bundled into one, as one ecosystem, where there will be a lot of interaction between technologies, interaction between platforms. And I think BFSI is going to be a major player in this, the whole lifestyle of a user. There is going to be buy now, pay later. There are going to be solutions or products given to them at a point of sale. And these things will definitely improve the whole lifestyle, the whole living condition of people. And everybody will be able to access credit. Everybody will be able to save in a small amount. And we've seen already the start of that. And it's going to be growing from here.
Pawan, final word from you. You're also using blockchain technology. Do you see in coming time blockchain will play a bigger role, a growing role in the BFSI segment?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I'm very confident. The way India is looking at blockchain, the way the crypto markets are evolving in India, I think it's not too far. We will definitely see a lot of change in the way we operate cryptocurrencies, or the way we use blockchain technology for different, financial services. I think it's a lot of use cases are there. I mean, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very strong proponent of blockchain, definitely. And I strongly believe that our use case of chip funds also is a very, very good use case in terms of pushing the blockchain technology to the next level. So, of course, yes. I mean, blockchain is the future, and blockchain will impact a lot of BFSI services across the world, across the country as well.
Well, with that, we come to the end, gentlemen, as we're running out of time. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again on some of our other shows.